ye wi anom yensa kase boy ye de ba no de di makotini bi ene say Ghana Mampanin John Dramani Mahama and I share a domdo ba no de ni say Bella Babade and him say Office of the Special Prosecutor when ye emfri hono sabi no one fan to baby. Sanso so Anna Enkane Mampania Abede Dr. Mahmoud Baumia and Ekache Electoral Commission say Pandai by election de akosono enchaye kra.
Very, very disappointed in what is going on in our country. It looks like our institutions of democracy and our tenets of democracy are being undermined.
Na shebedwafo nso se wo mu hia offices e wo mainstream wo ye adwuma wo nu emu.
The main report that I had the privilege to serve, and the contemplation was that when these offices are constructed, MPs will have live doctors who relate between the constituency and MPs who are in parliament.
Daddy Lumba watching some daben ye March and say December Nyankopon ya adoma watching no panon do and Accra High Court no ebesi dinaye.
His judgment, so it's normal for courts to do that. I'm sure you can, if you are interested, you can pick up a record of the courts.
And some afufo bi ka woni yesi nkonya ye de baba so mu se awia no miensa kase bo ye da say Vegdank Healthcare wo mu ye liver and kidney specialist hospital wo mu se yade ben e na edi unya e fatty liver, kidney stones, gallbladder inflammation, prostate enlargement, hypertension, UTI, hepatitis B, and C, diabetes ni na se okwa Vegdank Healthcare ahye ya Yebemu aduro ne yetu asie e de amao. Wa mu ahodo da ban Sokoban je Kufo School Junction no eso 0502 230999 0502 230999 Ohinere spices and so taste wom emediane ye the flavors no doson. Your chicken flavor, jollof rice flavor, fried rice flavor, stew, goat, beef, noodles, no shrimps. What the year the idea mania shamesan de tutudom at the brow. Yawa ohinere non dairy powder so anunsu milk powder. Udi cocoa tea tom brown oat for bigum. Butter kasian so just so. As for commercial bank area ho ebuso. Shops are hold one ubenya B 0207 805398. Ajingo Herson so just so. Wamo and ekofa ba deba obesima 2x na obesima 2x no oto ba akope bebo onwinu kama ma hwan ye fe your passion twist, natural twist, long kinky and obesima nwi ahodo ni hina bi odwa so a se odi boati a ebo ma ho ye fe yie pa we sukra de atufo bo and Ajingo Herson de ma wo Hello FM abrusayi ase 0247 844381 Oscar Mark Boutique nso de ne mapa abedwa so emadie memadie mpanini nkoda de oshatene trefie de odi kwa adwuma de odi kwa yefro say ye lace ni engagement dresses ni wedding dresses awodo say ye suit best spread perfume handbag ne purse makeup onyema emofre ni anenu omo diapers ni na abenya bi Oscar Mark ge wo Prempeh the 2nd Street wani ahodo Sokoban Trotro Station edi nhwani mu baby a ECG transformer no esie no 0208 120280 A1 Hospital so at the Wellness Clinic ababe ko mudumadi omudie no hom Wamo medical check-up ho enuane e wo sewudie massage ni akupunture hinomu ye hu adwuma afi okuta National Health Insurance Scheme ana private health insurance card now the be show abla wunchi ahwe meso yare abomodi akwaya sabia ne enshow wamo santase anyinam Golf Fuel Station nechi e wo boase kwan so aputuaja lorry station le kwan so ba ko ho 0500 940940 Dank Natural Healthcare Complex there. Wamose empam ya de boni ahodo no mutu ase prekope ma hoto enu nti se aye dunso ya wachi kase ntutu fever bite guchecheche wo anase nsufita bite free waseba ewudi mpam agwa wote ya wodunso abachem na modedi akire no ne nyina okwa ne amuado ni atu ase ye wo fito care tuko kwase tonic no so wonu mato abehwe nkwan Broadcast is Yadia Beko and a stroke no Sasabro Shubeko CCA. One more petty number 2 0244 017556. Nature Smart Dental Clinic same. We somehow be a fabra ni enshensie ma say yet it scaling and na polishing so 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 abubu na say bia tutu afri mo ye be hye de ama e braces aye be ye teeth whitening halitosis in carbon ye betu afri wonum bibi e first na siesie ho de Nature's Now Dental Clinic for ya de omo san wo oral shop omo ton oral product ahodo ni hina bi wo mo ka say Liberty Filling Station omo ne family with the production ni mu 0539 839335. You know, Koi and Ashley Asanami a day a no me and Sakasiabono Ebrewo. Yakao say Casiaboy a live with social media platforms. I would do me in so Facebook, here, hello, 101.5 FM. YouTube, Despite Media. Identify the 50265 17033 so ni akenkan a day amount. Mede abena ejapoma. Afei ensem ne muntremu eni Ghana mampani John Dramani Mahama wano ene hye edomdodo no ba no dani ene majority chief whip o ma hye bedwafie se eni manimu ya private member bill bi e dia bato mo pono so se nka ebeya nka office of the special prosecutor sa office no ka wo munyi emfanfiri wo no wose sa bill no wo ntwentwen so ansa mo emfa nye aduma na ni hina ene se Ghana mampani John Dramani Mahama wose wono no office of the special prosecutor wata na chipa esan secretary ne proye emini wo manyi wono so de na akoma secretary ne proye de wo pese etu ase kra eno so nti na wata sa office no echi na enhyiamudi a wone peace council for ehia enra no eno de sansem wei etu dwa eno so na odina ya wa hye se dom dodo no ba no dani won twentwen sa bill no so e ma ne mfa anya aduma nsa na office of the special prosecutor no yenshe mu kana na yenshe mu de nsa na be ye adwuma no won betimi aye no mo aye no ye de ma mpani eka hina ne se wo say wo ka kire office of the special prosecutor say wo pese wo ye rehu no ye adwuma de nsa na be ya wo manfo no e benya didie woni mu na kata hye ne proye yetimi to ase e de afi wo man Ghana mu na sa kratai ora Felix kwachifo so wo na hye bedwane wono so ene kasa edema Ghana mampani wono ena ne nsa hye ase Asami wunti ye kwa ahoma so ye ni ononyafo Vincent Eko Asefua wo mrahye bedwane wo Otafo ye ne no ekwa akotwetwe nkomo ona bo awie metia mo ahaba hello FM ye wi ano me nsaka sebe so
Nya bamba so bejo so
mejidi se wi hu ye pa
odame de na che
ye hu nso ache kakra ya abrafie ni hu ache
atidame adu ma weekend me ne tinyaba
Yate. Now, honorable, this is office of the special prosecutor. Na enra na eboboba say office ye prescribe free ye ba be ye free. And na Ghana man penin say, wo mo ntwentwen sa bill no so ansa. We uti say asem de ebeboa.
Well, I think that the government and the party, as far as NDC are concerned, is in a state of confusion. Especially because we share the majority leader, who is also the leader of government business. He sits in cabinet. And so, on what basis? And you have a position from the leader of government business in parliament, which is also different from that of the president. The state is in a state of anarchy. There's confusion everywhere. Having said that, my belief is that the office of the special prosecutor no ankasa before. You see, when you go deeper into what the bill actually says, and the most circumstances, and the bill gives sacrosanct prosecutorial power to the OSP. You are watching me, I'm from my OSP. On to prosecute in without the authority of the Attorney General. Because you see the Attorney General, under the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana, Article 88, is very clear that he is the chief prosecutor in the country. And for that matter, that power cannot be shared by anybody. In instances that there is any other
institution are also prosecuting. That power has been given to that institution by the Attorney General. For example, police. Police want to be prosecuting people because that power has been given to them. And they do so in the name and on behalf of the Attorney General. If you correct Section 4 of the OSP Act now, the OSP cannot prosecute anybody without an express authority of the Attorney General. And they will now nobody buy it. Almost say nobody buy repeal the OSP Act and one. When you read that bill in its entirety, it clearly shows the misunderstanding on the part of the majority leader and the chief whip of parliament as far as the operation of the OSP and its act in your concern. Because many between the imagination there. Majority leader of parliament, every side on the local parliament say, oh, yeah, repeal the crown because after 88, presidential powers, Attorney General there. That is not in contention. In fact, the OSP Act has never said anything as Dorian's brought Article 88. The OSP Act actually goes ahead to confirm the power that has been given to Article to the AG as per Article 88 of the 1992 Constitution. And before the President of the National Peace Council, our President of the National Peace Council said, oh, OSP as no problem, and I said OSP as an office. Anybody who has any intent, so you need to move to because and then Martin Pebu, your darling boy out to the sense there, OSP are watching Martin Pebu, and yet we are showing you on Chinebi. You see a dude near Mama Bodinga, OSP you buy a hotel and I. So you have majority leader in chief leading that agenda. So clearly there is a problem, but I do not see that it should end with the president. The Deputy Attorney General has caused one of the law firm members to send a petition, or if you like, an application to the court, asking for an interpretation as to whether the OSP Act is in consonance with Article 88 of the 1982 Constitution. President also encouraged the deputy agent to withdraw that interpretation because it was a grand scheme agenda to make sure the OSP Act and that's the OSP office. The president said, "A premature was actually a year the majority chief whip and the majority leader. Just not the only move she be judiciary because I have already said that now a combined effect of the judiciary, the executive arm of government, and the legislative arm of government. The president said, "I don't come one." After the answer said, which may catch the deputy age, so as opportunity free. And yes, sir, they will use the judiciary to still scrap the OSP because some of the interpretation, that's a Supreme Court judge that the OSP Act, it is not in consonance with the dictates of Article 88 of the 1992 Constitution. What that means is that the OSP Act or the OSP office will stand dissolved. That is what I am looking forward to make sure that the president will consult. Because you see, the deputy AG is an executive arm of government. To the president to say, then the president is able to tell the deputy AG to make sure that that case is not even heard in Parliament, in the Supreme Court.
Now, honorably, say guy now or file a petition. On one case, or yeah, deputy attorney general office, or yeah, not 20, or gun and it is a menorah. And he said, "Be a baby in Koshu or mine, Muno, Shana said, be I will bet me I will be a son of Bonnie be any manner."
Lord Hewitt, the Lord Chief Justice of England, in the case of the Republic that is taxed, has something to say. Or say, justice must not only be done, but it must be seen to be done. Justice must not only be done, but it must be seen to be done. But why him? Why him?
Na say be musukra say wo bae o mu nhyeda hu ade bia poti bia why corruption yes wo meko wo bae nhyeda hu bibi poti bia wo ba bae ntinka ye ni free one keye
so no kwa nya hia eni attorney general no ne bae a ne nkofo NDP ko a na omugina asendebia a yedi omasem oba be omu nya afi ho so no so no a onya ahwi no wotimi atake anase wotimi ahwe enkofo mu MPP for nya ndisi for so no yes so no nya ahwi a how much more the AG who is not even going ahead to prosecute anybody in his government, people who are already before the court are filing only prosecute Ayomu Nefrio. How about him?
And is here the president aye ubabona abaso
it is within his right, it is within his responsibility to make sure that state institutions, when Ghanaians were going to vote for him on the 7th of December 2024, they believe that state institutions are being protected. They believe that state institutions will be given enough support for them to be able to fight corruption. What the Ghanaian people are looking forward from him is to make sure that we're creating jobs, we're creating employment for the Ghanaian youth, the teeming young people who are out there, hoping that 24-hour economy is going to give them jobs. One trade year, I don't know what you're talking about. I really want to say.
The entire amount of workers say, I am one about to say. Attorney General Department Office one ankasano. Your Director of Public Prosecutions and Corruption no one send me hinano. Kawaso no ena oye any asante sa office we. Intina nkwafo kasa asa office no aye mienu ena nipa ba akopɛ ena ase ade bibia ma no no nso ntimi nya hwe.
Hwe. Okay. Akufuado. When Akufuado was appointed as the Attorney General in 2001, in that mention, John Mahama was part of the people who were vetting Akufuado. And the question that John Mahama asked him, okay, Akufuado, the response of the man in 2001 when he was appointed as Minister of Justice, it was very clear that the Attorney General and the Minister of Justice clearly has been toothless. And for that matter, even though Article 88 of the 1992 Constitution, the man who finds it, for 16 for a period of about 9 years after the inception of the 1992 Constitution, he has not been able to do so, or the AG has not been able to do so. And in 2001, Akufuado was clear in his mind that he was going to make sure that there will be a way to be able to help the AG, the AG to be able to find other means where the AG or that office that will be created will not be at the behest of the executive. And I am suggesting to you that the office of the special prosecutor is absolutely essential. It is absolutely important because that is the only way that you can be sure that that office will not be at the beck and call of a certain government, of a certain president, so that you make sure that you'll be able to deal with corruption. If anybody is saying that to say the our flaws, it is okay for him to have flaws. But I can assure you that it is better than the office of the AG in terms of fairness, in terms of equity, in terms of justice delivery. I can assure you that it is better than the AG.
Yo honorable yadase pa entremunu akoye yadase. Ononyafo Vincent Eko asefo amrahebedwani yo wo otafo ono ene ne twetwensa enkomoye. Yento akase abono so na afe yenko ensemfufuru mu. Enkane mampani abedi etire Dr. Mahmoud Baumia wose eniema bi ekoso wo Ghana ha entwaye kra anu nte wose eka nwasem wose niema na ekoso no ema ye ka bi maminka bi amamo na yesi ye de ye adwuma no ema na nya akono nsa anya fetichiu ene Pandai parliamentary assembly ye ekoso abato yesi ye babati wose sa wo hwa ade nu pa Mahebedwani yo Pandai onunya format ndam wa file eye application na appeal na wa file hina no wa de challenge high court ni GSC wasie se afimpi ani adwene na Mahebedwa akonya no yensan enkoto so aba adi kra no Mahebedwa no so kra san trokrata e de akwa electoral commission se sa Pandai seat e wo Mahebedwa fie won titi a wo bia ante so e ma isi kra so di data aba no ye kwa akoto eno na wo kire mu sem Dia Mahebedwa no ene electoral commission no eye no ase wo mo toto ka bi mam ka bi amamu no ase wo mo ma na nya akono na ensa anyefe asemi kra beto dai wo manfo atwene sra ni abasa eno na aka bi a Dr. Mahmoud Baumia so akasete a ekyem se dia kwaso no de enye kra wose wote ye na ra ho yie pa wose se ni se hunti wo man ya ye se ye de ka bi mam ka bi amamu ne ye de adwuma ye di mu oban no afi de asesisi an de obi ape ene wo ye wose de kwaso no enye nipa no se wa file appeal na asem no court ni ye nkan wie ya eye de den na abeka se na konya wote so no tisi a obi ante so e ma yisi kura san de date fufa ba se enkoto so aba na se ye no ane se na ame eje se asem we kura mpo no ebi nsi wo Ghana hadawo wase asem we ebi asimpren bebre wase ye hwe owura dan aboda bidie afora techikwesi ndie yesi ye wasini eno so sha na etie eno kra no mrahye bedwa no ma kwan e ma court no ye de wo so be ye hina ansana ye de date ba betu dwa na ya ba betu aba adenti na pandai die no nkwa de ase omo pepre omo aso omo paniema ntentem jaso omo keke kanema bom ntempa akoto aba wase wodwe ho a wonte ase kra.
Very, very disappointed in what is going on in our country. It looks like our institutions of democracy and our tenets of democracy are being undermined. The issue of Pandai with Matthew Nyindam is not a new issue in our democratic politics. You've had issues with Dana Bodapi, you've had issues with Teji Kwesh in Asin, and basically you've had the House allow the court and the legal processes to take place and be exhausted before state institutions are stampeded into acting in ways that undermine democracy. Matthew Nyindam should be given his day in court. He has filed appeal processes at the High Court. He has filed for a judicial review at the Supreme Court, and none of those cases has been adjudicated. So why the rush? Why the indecent haste? I think that he's being railroaded. I think that this undermines our institutions of democracy. I think that we should take a halt to these processes and allow him to have his day in court, just as others have done in the past. The House has never really rushed in this way when it came to the other cases. What is the difference with the case of Matthew Nyindam? I think it should not be this case. I think we should uphold the tenets of democracy. Democracy is something precious that we've all had and we've all subscribed to. When you start undermining its pillars, you break it down, and the consequences for the nation are very severe. And so simply because you have power, you shouldn't feel that you can ride roughshod over your opponents and over the principles of democracy. And so I stand with the principles that are being espoused by the minority in Parliament, and they're doing a good job at it. And we want to support all the principles that they are fighting over in this particular case.
Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia enkane mampani abedi etrene ena yete ye no yadaswa ewo Pandai abato nu nsensem na mu na election watch Ghana for womonso ede krate piedwa en wo mo se asa niema bi koso wa Ghana ya nhwani anka wansema ade na beka ho asa afi bi ebeye sa wose wo mo ntiase die nti a yato abawie na fede bia ya chato abafoforo obehu yesi ahade ekoto ne foforo ahade ekoto ne foforo wase akoso achepa sisi Pandai na san adruhoi na eneya we December abosom de to so du ba kon ena omde krata epiedwa ena wo mu tiemu se sa abato a yesan to ne foforo ne hina no eye oman na ne yebo ne kasan se ye minu mienu eto omote no eno a ne yede kotua eye abato nka ne ho hyehyɛ bia ebasa emasika entna wo man mu ne yebo oman ne ka uyi eno to nchen a afe emma wo manfo no enya didie wo electoral commission mu ade abato ya to wi abobo yesi we na di nkunum we na di ncho afe ye wa yesi e ba beto aba wona ye Ghana ne beka se na electoral commission de na se adwuma de hye ne nsa wa anye ne yiwu wose e ba se ha adwunye pa wo manfo no enhye da enya didie awa electoral commission sensemu eba said wo ha bebre na enede ebeba eno so nti na wo stress nke ekoto aba e wose ye de nhye pato akwemu na abato a ye beto bibi ebe bia no ye ma awia bom pepepe yo eye adwuma se ne be ye to aba ne wia enya fe ne ebeka se ye kwa akoto aba bia biom sanse nansan se ne yesi tototo aba foforo no e ha adwen pa wose ye nto aba kwa dodo obetimi akan kra no ekwa miensa ne nan wose adan de enkwa na ye de eno nti wose ye hwehwe ne ma ye se ne be ye betimi aboa election watch Ghana for say wo masre amanyofo hina say Pandai abatwa ye ba abatwa no wo bia amfa ne hunjim oye NPP ni oye NDC ni wo bia ankwa na wo moa ne ento aba no na ye hu de obedi nkunim wasese ye kwoto aba no wo bia de ne hu hyem na eboa eno na ebeboa maka bi mamika bia mamuo no aye akono na aye fe e wo man Ghana mu wo mo san e ka kire Electoral Commission of Ghana say womu dwumadi a womu die no womu nhwaso no monye ne ye dwom beye bia no womu ma awia mom emra ene hyehyeye ye bo abato ho ban no womu ni sa mra ne hina so pepepe na yantu aba no kwan paso se na ebe ya ebewie no enya fe na obi beka se watimi wakame ana se aba no ye kwa akwato ne biom. Election Watch Ghana say se ne nyema esi kono wo mo mpese ye beto aba na wie asan ka se ye kwa akwato aba biom ade ye bebo oman ne kayi eno nti de omo ka hina ne se Ghana fo ne amanyofo hina wo mo nta electoral commission eti na abato a ye kwa akwato e wo pandai no yetimi ento ne bom ye hwe se ye bedi emra ne hye paso se na be ya ebeboa ama kabi mamen kabia momu no aye akono na aye fem. Afe yenko Ghana mrahye bedwafie amane bo ene Emmanuel Akwali ede eba ne sem mrahye bedwafo ne se wo mu hia offices e wo momensine bia mu se na be ye adwuma ede aso mo nsa so mo nye no wo betimi aye no mo aye ne ye yenko na enchemu aka no won fanto aye so Honorable Akwali.
Hello, masumu ewo ehanomo na mrahye bedwafo no ede sa asemi tudwa we bra na 2026 tika yetwa ma parliamentary service say parliament de be na juma 2026 no na eye 1.6 billion Ghana cedis ena the ministry no etwa ma parliamentary service no ntine no mo ka say the parliament agye to na nka parliament ankasa de o pe 4 billion Ghana cedis ena ministry of finance ema 1.6 billion Ghana cedis intimidation Japan eche wadwen wo hono ena wo mo kan say won constituencies no wo mu hia eye offices e wo hono mo se de be ya wo bitumi ayi dum efi o ona Opoku Jur12 ma wo konsa ebi ma ti begene say over parliament a job 600 wo mo offices no wo hono e conditions e wo nyina enye edwuma nti e ho ayeche o mo kotan wo mu ntumi ntina intino
of the parliamentary service must ensure that they prioritize the utilization of this about 1.6 billion Ghana cedis. As long as the Speaker, the Clerk of Parliament, who is the Chief Executive, and the persons in charge must ensure that this allocation is prioritized. Mr. Speaker, over a year now, ventilation in the offices of members of Parliament from 11th floor to some of the other floors is non-existent. And we speak about it often here in the chamber. The building is now becoming, for want of a better expression, useless because MPs can't sit in the offices and work because there's no ventilation. Basic things like printers, at least on a floor, so that if a member of Parliament and his research officer have done some research to come to the floor and do some work, sometimes you literally have to go to a soup to go and print because as an institution, we haven't provided basic things like printers, at least on the floors. As long as Speaker, for this allocation that has been made, even while we're saying it's inadequate, we'd like to urge on the Chief Executive and his officers to ensure that the usage is prioritized and that the basic things that must make that building function and MPs have the capacity to stay in and function should be done. It shouldn't all be used for traveling and allowances and other things, but should be used for providing basic things to help us work. I thank you.
Honorable Haruna Idrisu, our year so for Humesia and some so non so a na dream. On another day, constituency a offices are a was a yisima na chibidwa no, and no and ordinary dream na no a two nubia or cast a moving up into a buy more parliament no yeska into Anamono ewo, Moma Intino.
That I had the privilege to serve. And the contemplation was that when these offices are constructed, MPs will have live members who will relate between the constituency and MPs who are in Parliament. But Mr. Speaker, my contribution is just on one major issue. The Parliament of Ghana must assert itself and end the funding crisis. Everywhere in the world, Mr. Speaker, Parliament is referred to as being responsible for oversight, including budget oversight and financial oversight. The Honourable Minister for Finance, the Honourable Atuforson, in his budget hinted about a value for money office. The Parliament of Ghana must complement him with the establishment of the budget office. Ghana needs two important offices. One, the executive is saying a value for money office. Parliament must also have the budget responsibility office. That is what is best practice. Then in concluding, Mr. Speaker, it is my thought that the Parliament of Ghana, because of our checkered past, 137, 137, 138, 106, 169. What is the role of Parliament when it comes to budget and financial statement approval?
Emmanuel Akoli enede amaniboi ebaye yenko ahafomantam no emu na yenuanom kusasi ene mampusifo ye free boko no apa east mantam a womo ababetena asunafo north mensi wa afomantam no womo se asumdwe nko a watimi wakame no ehun hyeda ehianya de se beboa ade mpunto abra wo man no eno nti womo omanum asumdwe bua wompesa asumdwe eteno mo entem ansana asantemembra otumfo se titotoso no sia wono mo mpanifo sia no kra no wode ababeto mampani anim December bosom de toso do center mbo madikan ya womanum asumdwe bua mo chemse sia asumdwe na eno mo etimo na mampusi ahemfo ne mpanifo ene kusasi na no mahemfo ne mpanifo ye wo esunafo north mensi ni mo ewo golf so ena wo muhia ya wo mo de sase bo hina tudwa na de si ye ne sem Ghana mampani John Dramani Mahama wa share mensi krache panifo ye wo Ghana fana ba bia se omo mensi bia mu eye ne yenuanom kusase ne mampusifo ewo prodi mu no wo munhia wo mo no omo nkasa na asumdwemra ansana asantemembra dia wo ye no wode aba beto aban no anim December bosom de toso dunsia eno nte ho adwuma no mo ye a wokopiem asunafo north mensi ne mu a wo manfo ne chemche sisi ade ya asumdwe kra omo mpe entokwasem bia na municipal chief executive ononyamfo Joseph Aparibo yeta fe ne sese John wono ena de sansem bo hina tudwa ewo ensentrefo nhemu ekoso ewo goso
Nina yenimisem ni ekoso ewo bako between Kusasis and a Mampusifo and Sensema akoso mfi bibri nyankopon adom yahimpon awo omanmuwa otumfo asante hene president edi asem no ekoto nanim nyame adom waka asem na wi yenim ni ebefiri mu aba dia aba enche ne se enye otumfo edi emuae ebekwa akoma yiwa the president of the republic and intini ehwa ko hia se yene kusasifo ene mampusifo bihia yetu ya manfo ni ebefiri mu aba pia se beko benkum se beko nifan obi pia emfana asopam kusasifo ne mampusifo na anya omasem ene omo nyina age atu se ne de ebeko bia obi abege atu jiwa wo nche bia no yebesere yempese obi bi asem no ebeko akose ne ho na odi how the basa ebeba asunafo nofo
eno wachire no dwanto ahene ye oda goso mampusifo no ano na Sama Mamudu ene na Edrusu Mahama ono nso eye manso hene empanifo mienu ene hello kase atwetwenkomo
we mampusini na owo so ne mpata mudina anabe bia radio station ko bia no hwe kasa mudidi president ki otumfo grata no bebia ebekwa koto bia no yebesere se obia nyabotre e mampusini ya nyabotre na kasa alhamdulillah yakopon na aye asundue echi bibia se woni asundue a untimi ko pemba fi na one oyere no mba endidi se ekoma mampusifo a yenuanom kusasifo yakopon enka mo ho na onyam akoma na munya abotre ekoma kusasifo a mampusifo ni bia wo ba bia no jitum ni yakopon ka ho na enya abotre tinya ma bi sine taba timo chenye no tjena ni tidubonti tibichana na titizamzama ozu so kam ne go so otemba no wo mama ahyema tukunzo na wo ne kaja temba na mama na usapam tupam katemba se yo tuku kam za wo yishim to potutu so ne so adaba tichana tupu ana piago ni ntemam program wo beso sko ne nizom na wo ne kapa hasugo ka president tina mba ko konna ka kai chance na tengam presi mashallah kusasi ne sugo kamina nchenga sunga to kusasi na presi wannan sugo katizanya abu hinni iku maso kam za zimi yina ebe maso ka kumina
le krakra mu no abusua pani ya oda go su kusasi abusua no ano na ba Abdul Salam Anyari ene woba ahima ya oda kusasi go su kusasi pro ano eye Pwanab Juliana Mampoaba empanifo mienu kasa ba ko kan twi na ba ko so pa kusa
yeto wote se ba ko fo emma bema baakoma mma baakoma ene yete hanen yepa asundue wokutoka na ebaaye no eseyuma bebre akra bebre ena akọ wampusifo awu kusasifo ehaye nisra menuanu wampuse nisra menuanu kusase afeme bebi abeto bia eyampoye eto wampusifo a ya ayedea eto kusasifo a ya ayedea na yehia asundue kuriye odo
emana mpam atini mori ne karabaka na yinala ya kene one police babo kusah ne ngaba misuru ya lankena kusah babo one police mende ngaba misuru tisa fa ane buriye ne ta ane sambis amma business aba anana ngwa are kina kadi police aba dina isie kazin ba alam nyame kigana na dina isie kazin ba alam nyame kibokna dina isie tsamun bande asuna form of kwala tami yanga zine ni maso tine bobna amma abya lefs dana din kinsi si awsafa so malam suguru
Atiawin Mohammed enede amanibui ebaye Nyumtuni Charles kwajofosu ya wanya ni baby kwa watiasi ni eta friend se Daddy Lumba na ni wechi nsem no ayese hija wobie ekanedi esisi ade abaso eye eda ye de beye na yi se ye na yi bronya bre ye December mu anasa March bosumi mu ene ebeye yi no eno de court no ene bekire asemi asa akwa mu ewo court na ne abra court no kwa asetena waso se nyankopon ye adom ochina no pa no ndu 10 am pepepe Accra High Court no ebetena se na afensuso wasigina ye se yi no ya beye December yi anasa March no emu na eye lawyer adema plaintiff ni ene twetwe or the same say to Jack.
It's judgment, so it's normal for courts to do that. I'm sure you can, if you are interested, you can pick up a record of the courts, and then you will know the arguments that were made, right? And so we just wait and abide by the decision.
And actually, no evangelist Papa Shin so no so no or into one so in central for Ekasai.
Yeah, because the BBI is on process. Already had my option, and I will take more for say yamra. Na fi on fana so we integrate den yanko pass BBI ko so kama ti e bon pa say ade befa ade a chime na wode en kwa che ne yaba ne yesafi ya ba biti di to no for ka ti na go bon shira obi a may the Lord God Almighty bless you ti mama ko say wasi nyam shira mo mama ene si mo fosu nyam shira mo fa ya Opoku Daddy Lumba ne ofa ba ko pa waka oni di ne maame echi yeli ena mama Georgina de o kimase ena eni ebusia France de be ne mama China no omo ina wa omo ina ba be support e ba 95% support to say nyemfa yi no enko erade yadoma match ebusia no dodo ni ina support
Evangelist Papa Shine ene yete ye no na ne kwakra mu no pani ya wobegina mu edema Lumba abusia pani ene abusia no so wono so de nsem se etudwa
sustain I was on so yan kan
But the other family who say and come person na
but one will this but we dey kind you know ni papa and in many things that cast a door about here you know I can't talk to you so the my will in the channel from 10 o'clock
now we are convinced we side now
oh I know there because I call left I am media and I call right in front I am media media ni na ni anu ni the food at no ni na na media and you say there some kasa sabi ya tie ho ase akye ma na nti ne dia report tie nyina ye ntwan court no na ye law asofa na say do be kan dia so ye nyina be so dia asabu fiaba but we didn't
we Daddy Lumba abusia nyankopon ya adom ochina na ebehu se ye no ye na fi anase afrofra ye besim no emom Ghana Water Limited for ye wa Asante Mountain wo mo say wo manya ho kakra ewo Barekase Water Treatment Plant ni mu na wo mo say wo mo nyem wo de adwuma no ebi ablaste no so na aka ho bia ama nsuo no enhyeda emasa no na enaya we December bosome de to so du baako na mpanefo de krata piedo mutire mu se wo mo pump miensa asai blast ni si ye no ama mo pump no miensa asai eno na aka ho a nsuo anka wose eba efiefie mu no ahoode ne eto etimi ate e bi kra ho ha nsuo no emakra no na wo mo so mo bɔ mmɔden ayɛ adwuma Ghana Water Limited for say wo mo engineers no e wo fam yeso mada wo mo yɛ adwuma pa sa na be ya saa pump miensa no wo mbetimi asiesie mietimi ama obi nsuo e wo asante mantam ha na wo bia ho atɔ no na wɔkyerɛ mu sɛm kwapemtom bɛyɛ nsiesie adwuma ne nyina awie no wo mo guso a yɛ ho adwuma de nso atiefo de bɛyɛ ane sɛ mo de bɛkyɛ wo mo na wo mo yɛ adwuma na wo mo nya nwie yɛ ne de nkakranka na ɛba no mo mfa ne saa nsuo no efiri saa breko nya de sɛ betimi aba kɛse te sɛ de na ɛba dada no ɛnam so ɔmanya ho kakra enti ebi wɔ hɔ a ɛbɛba ebi wɔ nso ɛma ebi wɔ nso ɛbɛba nso ɛbɛso sɛ kokokokoko saa na ɛbɛyɛ ɛne ɔmo fom so a ne nsa anyɛ boapayɔ ɛyɛ ɔmo pump no miensa mu a ɛna sɛ ɛna no so kro mo guso a ɛyɛ ho adwuma ɛno nti wɔ mo srɛ sɛ Ghana for ne asanteman mo mfa nkyɛ wɔ mo adwuma ndi o mo guso a ɛyɛ na wɔ mo ankasa no nko mbenya nkefie bia mu nkanhye o ha obi anya nsuo de yɛ ade san sɛ nsuo de ɛno ɛna yɛ nipa nkwa ɛno nti wɔ mo yɛ adwuma de o mo ka hina so wɔ mo sra asanteman hina sɛ wɔ mo mfa nkyɛ wɔ mo we ɛnyɛ boapayɔ wɔ mo guso a ɛyɛ adwuma de na ɛnkyɛ kra nsuo no ebesa ababiom na yehina ye ho etimi atoyen kasebo ye no omanfo na echenti omo adwenkyia wo mode aba no ye de bi eto so flesh chei edifri amakom no de ba ene wose obi nkanche Dr. Mahmoud Babia ema mesesisi aga na ha no kabi mamika bia mamu no ye mfa anya dwumo ya to atwe ne ba bi kura sisi eye Banana Republic sisi ade obeka bia no ha ebetimi asesa aban ye woso obeye no eno ana obeye Lawrence Boache edifri asenua asore nkwanta no de ba ene wose mampani wa ya de pa se water special prosecutor echi wodene di pa se adwumaden wobekɔso aye na waboa makabima mikabia mamu no afa ntuma pafa na katasha ne proye nso yeto ase e de afri oman Ghana mu Crespo nso e de fufuro no de eba ene wose mampusi ene kusasifo no yesremu entokwa na adɔso sisi a Ghana ukɔ baabi a ye kan tokwasema na ye omo a e wose ebraso sasa antokwa no yetwa ni nyina so na ye de asundwe etna wo man Ghana mu omanfo adwentre omde baye no ebi ena wate no afa ye fa kasebo no aseda ema enyumakue Nature's Now Dental Clinic se wahabi about sinimu wasino eya oya pese ukotu wabra wonti ya wabra yebetu wonti ya obia scaling na nasa polish nso a wasino niema wadidi di akeke kaso no ya ye green ni black no yebetu yebo ase atwitwi ni hina so wasino ebi so abubu anabi atutu afrimu a yebetu yebo ase ne yahye braces and apesa o share be sheni hina de ama kama say ye titiri whitening ye ma asenu nya fitefite ebeto ye bo asenu aye enka bone ni entumfi wanu ma ni nyina Nature's Now Dental Clinic for ya de omo sign wo oral shopper omo ton oral products ahodo ni hina bia e free edwara de kosi memneda okwa abenya enema pa ato kuma se wo mo kase Liberty Filling Station ho omo ne farm of the produce anymore Konongon Solidi Dina New Graph Filling Station Abrosign Emu 0539 839335 0539 839335 Dank Natural Healthcare Complex dear Ebano empem yadboni outdoor material sexually transmitted infections dear or more dear Nasaya dear yadboni pa unim sese unya bina wanhwe anu maduro entoasia ebemu apa wo saa sa oyo ba na se be ma no ebima kidney no ha bebam wahrawa no so saa etimi mo bi anifra widie nani ese prekese ena se wonya bia ojonso a wote ya wo pechum na moja di ekire na abema mu hyeso esa no wachi kasem tutu enchana fever chew insufita bi ta gugu bema to be for na ese ketekete na nsansa aja se wo hina aboso oba obu nsa wote ya nsabo no kran hyeda emaye odi mpaso agro wi a wote ya ni nyina no okwa Dank Natural Healthcare Complex a yebemu aduo no yeto ase e de amawo Yasan wo nu ahodo e wodwa so se kokko pa na etete wa wanum no sa enkwa Fifth care no numbi ebekọ sisi ama ho ato de nanum ato nso wontimi ne die no wonom tonic ne bia obehwe kwan atafre ne nsa wosisi ya oya akontunu mu ase ana waka wadro eye procare ena sesasabro na hawa stroke no so numbi ebekọ na bia tonto abrofudro no bibidro ebuso womo ewo pechi number 2 0244 017556 0244 017556. A1 Hospital says Sisiano, Wamo at the Wellness Clinic, Ababe Mujumadi Mudi in home. Na Sebibi and Koye when you pedrenim a brandy and she a boss in to Shimu when you pedrenim. A doctor for him, dear name for dear Yapapano, or by the best season in Pediano. So, baby, I dare she be a near Pied National Drew. Afe in me and Yahudra would dear Bebwani Pedriano, massage and acupuncture, a bemi and Pedredding, Nani a bois. Ama hwode aba nipadua emu nipa kra den ka wanka fe muni na e wo se onya bre na akwane hwehwehwe nipadua nim na ye boa wo afi wo yare nso a wankasa emu otrim koto adronum kwaya sabia na ye nhyew ukuta National Health Insurance Card ana Private Health Insurance Card now the bar na ya show free wa bra untua hwe A1 Hospital ewo Santase anyinem Golf Fuel Station no echi ewo Boase kwan so ena Aputueja Lorry Station le kwan so behu wo mo 0500 940940 0500 940940 Oscar Mark Boutique nso eton niema pa edi amao eniema ade siesie hu fiu trese de kosi unase sa wo yo ba na se be ma pani ana sa akoda benye bi de o sharpness na fie de o de kwa sorry office shirt papa bi where the new engagement dresses ahodo omo designer lace wo ho omo suit best spread perfumes handbag and purse ahodo makeup on de mahina benye bi baby school bag wardrobe car seat traveling bag emofreni and similar enfamil kendamil atamil cerilac diapers little angels ne hagis no mina Oscar Mag ton bi ediamao or prempe the second street one ya hojo Sokoban Trotro Station e di nhwanimu baby a ATG transformer no esie no de atosumienu wadum edina First Atlantic Bank pom no womo ene nankane en Hagan Wood Village Sokoban Trotro Station di nhwanimu de atosumiensa wadum eben Afane House eben Takredian Brothers 0208 120280 0208-120280. Ajingo hairs ewo dwaso na ajingo hairs de bronya bre hwa na ye kwakwadi nipa de aboyeti won de obesima 2x aba eno no nya ba akoba otrinwi na bebo ne kama ma hwan ye fe ye wo passion twist natural twist long kinky eno obesima nwi ahodo ne hina bi wo ho ajingo hairs so de ne bo no efo o to ne makoma twa akoto an ne hina no eye tufo bo ena ye de emma wo hello fm abusen yase ewo edum 0247 844381 0247 844381 Ohinere spices taste wom emediane the flavors and so doso your chicken flavor jollof rice flavor fried rice flavor steam flavor goat flavor beef flavor noodles flavor and shrimps flavor odi ediane e mani ehwa sanye de bedie to ase bi nka Yawa hinere non dairy powder so dwaso ye milk powder udi cocoa tea ton brown oat afabegum butter kese we dwaso amu ye cocoa ni cake no munya bi eboa pa asafo commercial bank area ho ebuso shops ahodo no so ubenya bi 0207 805398 0207 805398 Vegdank Healthcare womu ye liver and kidney specialist hospital yade ahodo a edunya say ye fatty liver kidney stones gallbladder stones gallbladder inflammation prostate enlargement hypertension UTI hepatitis B and SSC diabetes ni na fabra na yamu adro na omu entuase na Vegdank omu kumase ahojoda ban Sokoban Jekufor School Junction no eso 0502 230999 0502 230999 Yasamufo ayora Kenneth Obey the master planner na bedi eche Prince Kwadobuadu Otobrosim Obefiase wa Mavis Asare Adom ena afe Kofi Eje ene Nana Ama omu nyina ebeboaye social media nso de eye Francis Di Lorenzo na Daroma ena otwa ye kwa abefo ntintamfidie no so a onya bi wohweye mede abena ejapoma yeda mu nyina se mamomo ene tie bon shake a wo ba betena se na wode nyompa